But this week we have got our Zoom Casa Master Call. So every other week we do a mastermind call where we come in, we let people ask questions, we dig deep into your own deals, marketing, structure, anything that you might have that's outside of kind of the norm. We handle that on the off weeks. And then in the other weeks, we do a Zoom Casa 101, where we kind of cover the program top to bottom, just at a high level of what it is. That's a little bit more informational, more of a pitch for the program. So today we're primarily here to answer questions. I've got a list of things, topics that I could talk about, but what I found typically works best is to go back and look at questions that we got inside of our school community. This is primarily only for people inside of our school community. So we go back, answer any questions, and hopefully give you a bit of a better understanding of how the program works and what we might be able to do together to help you sell more real estate inside of 2026. So I'm going to kick it off. I see Mark is here. And if I just go to school, I'm going to share my screen again. And Mark had asked a couple of questions. And Mark, you there? You can take yourself off mute. Scott, also, if you got any questions, Ami, anyone else that's there. But I've got, when I see things like this too, I like to see it. So I am, again, and for those of you that don't know, my name's John. I've been in the mortgage real estate space for almost 30 years. I got into it when Bill Clinton and Monica were in the White House, and I've been doing this a really long time. Worked at a lot of large companies, just done a lot of different things, and here to help you. So you can think of this as a personalized coaching session going through. But inside of the community, Mark, you asked
Yes, sir. How you doing?
a couple of questions saying you're looking forward to the meeting. You've got a seller's appointment tomorrow. You're hot to trot. So tell me a little bit about what you're trying to do, how we might be able to help, and we'll break it down. We'll look at the deal as a whole, and hopefully you walk away with an aha moment, understand what you're going to do, and be in a better position for tomorrow.
Okay, well, I just got it from the ISA today.
Okay.
So I listened to the voice message, and basically the way he sounded like he didn't want anybody coming to the house. So what the ISA essentially said, oh no, he's just gonna talk to you about, what your options are and everything like that. So my plan is, and then also he did mention that the home needs some work. So that's the only information that I received. So when I looked at the because it expired, when I it apparently it expired a few times, and when I looked at it, it did say it needed some work. So I figured what I'm gonna do tomorrow. I don't really know too much about how to get the program started, but my plan was just to basically give an overview. Essentially, just kind of build some rapport, ask him like what happened, why he think it didn't sell, and stuff like that. Then say, okay, well, how about we go to I know that you told the ISA that it needs some work. So if we were to fix it up, at no cost to you, would that help you? And stay quiet, see what he says. If he says that'll be fine, then just say, okay, well, I think I have a program that might work for you. They'll go ahead and fix it up for you, and actually they'll basically take it off your hands or so and fix it up. I'll put it back on the market, sell it. They'll give you whatever money that you need to get whatever you need to do. If you need to move, they'll get you that. I'll sell it, and they'll give you the rest minus their fees. So that's how I was looking to go ahead and put that together. And then also the other question that I had was, should I have one of the Zoom Casa partners be on that call with me? But then I thought about it. I'm like, I don't really want to explain anything on the phone. I want to be in person with them. So I was like, so then I just thought to myself, let me just scratch that option out. I'll just be on the phone with him by myself. But when I do make the appointment, would I be able to get a Zoom Casa partner on the phone or so? So whenever you have any questions about the renovations or anything, I'll put it to him, and then we'll just go back and forth on how I would sell the home once it's established.
You got a whole bunch of different things that you're kind of asking there. So I'll kind of grab it at the end, and anything that comes up. And also, Scott, anyone else that's on the call, if something comes up, you've got a question, some insight. Again, our goal here at Zoom Casa, one of our biggest things is we have a belief that if we can help you sell more real estate, whether you're using Zoom Casa, somebody else, traditional listings, we will get more properties because you're just having more conversations and you stumble across things just like the one you have here, Mark. It might not be your traditional bread and butter, but you want to know how to be able to sell this as well. So your question to, can you get somebody from Zoom Casa to walk through all those options with the client? 100%. I think for you, where you're starting right now at ground zero, I would say that first and foremost, the biggest thing that you don't want to do is scare them off where they feel you're kind of sprinting at them with commission breath, if that makes any sense. And if it's cool with you, I've got a little slide I can just kind of share here. It's kind of just a sales 101 approach that might be a little bit helpful. I'm going to go, am I sharing? Yeah. So I'm going to share just a little like sales thing. So when you head into this appointment, you're like, hey, here's what I'm going to say to them. One thing that I would, when you approach that, I would approach it from a standpoint of curiosity and a standpoint of, hey, Mark, I have no idea if this even works for you. What I'd love to do is find out a little bit more about what you're trying to do. If we've got something awesome, we can take it to the next step. If not, no harm, no foul. It's cool to ask a couple of questions. Well, just come at it from a very casual point. He's already said he doesn't want anybody coming to the house. He's like already standoffish. And the reason that often is when you come at him or your ISA or anybody, when somebody smells commission breath, if you're anything like me, as soon as I hear that really salesy thing, I kind of think of this dude, right? Like we all know the guy. And what happens when that comes, and I didn't, right? Like here's the triggers. When you see this guy, it triggers this guy and it's, oh, I'm all set. No, I'm good. No, thanks. Just looking. Can you call back later? F off, click, they just hang up. And the reason being is that nobody wants to be sold. I don't, you don't, nobody on this call, like nobody out there, at least not in their right mind, likes to be sold. So what happens if you come at them too salesy? There's the 3 F's. Either they're going to fight you, they're going to flight and just bail, or they're kind of going to freeze and give you a moment. So in that freeze period is where you really need to, like, for the person that freezes, you got to be able to have something for them there. And I'm not going to walk all the way through here, but I kind of go through a mentality. You can either be a firefighter, and a lot of salespeople are, where you become very good at handling objections, taking the objection and moving on from it. It's a little bit confrontational, but this is like the Glenn Gary, Glenn Ross, coffee is for closers type approach where you're going to kind of just beat them into submission. The other option that I think works way better is you can come about it from a Smokey the Bear kind of standpoint. Let's never start the fire. And your whole goal in that call is to stay away from starting a fire. So this is being very curiosity driven by saying that you don't even know if you can help them, right? Like that breaks the pattern. Most salespeople, especially if their listing's expired, guess what they're getting right now? ISA after ISA, I can list your house for top dollar. Your last agent was junk. I'm going to do it different. So they're used to that commission breath. Uses lower tone, a little slower, just come at it from a very curiosity driven standpoint. And I think you'll do a little bit, I wouldn't say better, but it definitely probably won't be any worse. Does that sound fair?
Sounds fair.
So just something to think about. And we have, just as you're looking at going into that presentation, I'm going to bail out of there, up in here inside of our classroom, just things to help you. There's a bunch of things about conversation starters, different little word scripts, lines, things that you can use. And you may already have 1,000. I don't know you well enough to know whether you have them or not. But I always like to look at what other people are doing because it might be something that I can add to my, to my repertoire. I just use a really big word, but there's some conversation starters, ARCs, which are acknowledge, respond, and close, pivot, scripts for sale by owners. So we provide you some stuff up there that might help you prep for that in addition to what we're doing here today. Okay, so I've touched on a lot of stuff. We've got a listing. It's been expired multiple times. What do you know about the client beyond that? Like, do you have any insight? Have you done any, like research online?
No, I haven't done much yet. I just got it today. We're going to talk tomorrow. The main thing I just got is how he sounded on the phone. Just sounded more like, oh, well, I just want the information. I don't want anyone to come to the house. So, like I said, my plan was to just basically just kind of give him like find out what he needs, what his wants is, and then just let him know that my presentation is more visual and it's better to for me to go see it and see your home, see what needs to be done. And then from there, just have that conversation with him and then bring in Zoom Casa, because I feel that's something different, something value added, and then also let him know like how I strategically market homes.
Okay. And you just mentioned something there, right? He doesn't want anyone to come to the home. He's in this period right here. And it sounds like he's not fighting you. He hasn't, but he's right here. So this is where you've got him. So I'm all set. I don't want anybody to come to the house. Like he's in the fight or flight mode right now, deciding what to do next, feeling as if like you've pushed him into that point a little bit. So just kind of be aware. This is him standing there a little bit scared right now. Well, let's,
Oh, and we sent them some information too on our sales process on how to get homes sold in 10 days.
okay. And I'm going to play the devil's advocate here. How many homes do you sell? Like with most of the houses you list, how many sell in 10 days?
How many? Well, I haven't. I'm just trying this new strategy now. So it's like a strategy from Australia. It's kind of like it's not a bidding process, but you create it like you create like a bidding process and generate some interest.
Yeah. I mean, if his house has been listed and not listed, at this point, he's probably, yeah, you could show up as that guy from, whatever listing LA, right? Like any of those shows that sold, $4 trillion of real estate. Right now, this guy believes that most people in the real estate space are probably full of BS.
Mhm.
So the 10 steps may only kind of just solidify that a little bit more. But let's just kind of take a look at it. So I've got Mark's deal here, and we would need to get a couple of pieces of information to see whether or not this would make sense. Do we have an address even for the home?
Yes, we do. Hold on, let me get and look for it.
You can drop it in the chat.
Okay, give me a
What I'd
sec.
like to do is look at and try and get you as much information when you show up there as humanly possible. So you can maybe have a better conversation with them than anybody else, or at least a different conversation. Because everybody's going to show up with the drone photos they're going to do, their listing presentation. All right. So what can we do different than what everybody else that shows up to them is? But if
Okay,
you've got an address, we'll pull it up. We'll see where other people had it listed. It's inside of your
okay.
marketplace.
I
So
just I just dropped it in there.
awesome. And are you in Hawaii?
Yes, I'm in Hawaii.
Well, I feel a little bit Michigan. It's freezing
Okay.
cold here. I feel a little bit, I'm not going to say jealous, but I feel a little bit jealous.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm from New York originally, so when I'm trying to tease my friends or someone, they say it's so cold there. I'm like, yeah, me too. I mean, it's like it dropped down to like 70 today.
yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, off the market. Let's just take a look. Let's just see what kind of insights we can find here. So it looks like he had it listed at 900, down to 875, remove the listing, back on at 850, down to 835, remove the listing. So if I just go and let's just take a look at the photos. Do you know this area well?
So I gotta go over there to kind of like familiarize myself with it.
Yeah, well, most of the photos are off of here. The one photo they have looks like it needs furniture. Let's just,
Let me see. I think I could pull it up on the MLS. The MLS has a little more photos on it.
yeah, if you can get more, I mean, I just want to head into this with a little bit of insight because the more info we have is the greater our ability to.
Okay. All right, I got the photos pulled up.
Here,
Would you
I'm
like
going to
me to
stop.
share my screen?
And Zillow has it at this. Yeah, I got to stop sharing. Well, let's take a look. We'll walk through this sucker together.
Okay.
You should be able to share. Yeah.
All right. Okay, so here's the photos from the MLS. Move this out the way.
Okay. I see the kitchen, bath doesn't look bad. Could use some staging for sure.
Yeah, so these are the extent of the photos here.
So if you look at this, and again, I don't know your market from, from anything. If you were to look at this, and right now, like if I'm on Zillow, it's saying value somewhere around 820, was last listed at 835. Inside of that price point, like the kitchen looks like it could probably use, it's hard to really tell, but for sure, probably a little spicing up on the landscaping side. Paint looks kind of blah, but you understand that marketplace. Like, is this the common house there? Could this benefit from a, fresh coat of paint?
Yeah, from the way that the home looked, I mean, it looked like it definitely needs some painting right here. It looks a little bit outdated, maybe some updating. I'm not really a big construction guy, so I don't really know. Definitely the kitchen probably could just not much, just some sprucing up, maybe change the cabinets a little bit. I would say
Uh,
probably remove the carpet
okay.
and go with the
So
hardwood.
yeah, so we have a home here that could possibly benefit from some renovations. The client thinks it's worth a lot more. So let's just kind of go to, we've got this little handy dandy sheet, and I've
Okay,
seen the property enough. We'll jump over there. We'll
okay, you
walk
want me
through
to
the sheet.
you want me to stop sharing now?
Yeah,
Or
I actually think I can share right over top of you.
okay.
Stop the screen share. And so I'm sharing again. I just want to write, this is just Mark's deal. Let's say right now he had it listed for 835. It didn't sell. It was taken off the market. Let's say right now the as is value, I'm just going to go at 810. That's based on what I've seen. That's probably about where I think it would sell. Does that sound about fair?
Yeah, sound about fair.
And if you were to go out and list it and you wanted to sell it inside of a reasonable time frame, it's probably somewhere around the 850 at one point. And let's say I don't know what he owes or she, but let's say it's 450. If they were to go through and spruce up those things, right? Paint, carpet, it's not super expensive. Let's say they were to put 35 grand into this house. I'll ever say 40. I'll be conservative. $40,000 into this house. Let's say it takes it up from the 810. They started the listing at 900,000. There must have been some houses in the market that are worth that. So let's say it does jump it up to that. And you'll know better once you actually go out, look at the house, see it, sniff it out. But right now we're making guesses, but I want you to have an informed guess before you have that conversation tomorrow. So I
Okay.
look at these things, and let's say that we're going to do this and it's going to take, from the time we go out there, we do everything, it's going to take 2 months. It looks vacant. I mean, there's nothing in there. I don't even know if they're living there. Well, let's just say we're going to be at a 2 month mark. And when you go in and sell this, do you typically take a 5 or a 6% commission?
3%.
So 3%
Mhm.
on both sides. So we'll say 6. And right now,
Plus
the way it
GET.
sits, yeah, I'm trying to look at what he's going to net back. And the way it sits right now, if you were to go and list it, get it under contract, they're going to nickel and dime you and find some things that they want fixed. I don't know what it is. It's the rotten wood outside. It's something. They're gonna find something based on how it looks. So we'll leave 1% in there currently. And now I'm just going to go to a comparison here between what Zoom Casa would look like and you just doing a traditional listing based on as is. And again, we're making a lot of assumptions, so by no means is this like a guaranteed price, but we'll look at it here. So if he was to go through and just sell it on a traditional sale, put it back on the market, who knows when it's going to sell, how long it's going to take, you'd be looking at selling it for 810. They're going to pay off the existing loan. They do their repairs, they pay your commission, probably that's about 303. So that's a traditional sale. That's when you go up to that presentation, you sit down with them. This is one option for him. Option B, this is going to be the Zoom Casa option, the one that I'm suggesting right now, and I don't know what his overall scenario is. But this would be, we would come in and we would advance him 70% of the value of the home today. That'd be 567. Or we'd pay off their existing loan. We'd set aside the money for our renovation. So we'd set aside the 40 grand to do the renovation, and we'd give them a check for $77,000. Probably takes about 2 weeks to get from where we sit today to him having that first check. We then go through, we handle the renovations on our side. We get all of the bids and everything before, but we're handling the renovations, have a team of people that do these things. They see to it that it's done. They're paying the bills. Like, you and them are working on it together to get this thing back on the market. We go back in, we end up relisting this thing at 900,000. You pick up, your commission goes from 48 to 54 because it sells for more. The way Zoom Casa works is we collect a 5% fee in order to help with the renovations, to advance the funds, all that. And then we have a 1% per month carry. So our fee would be 63 grand. Seller sells it for 9, pays you, pays us, reimburses this. They get a second check for 261. They would end up in this scenario netting 293. They're going to get a little bit less money back. But once the renovations are done, probably sells quicker. I don't know what their scenario is right now. Do they need payments? Don't they? Can they move to the next place? I don't know what's going on in their life as a whole. That's your job to figure out when you talk to them on the phone. But this may have a lot more certainty. So we know what's going to happen. Probably, in all likelihood, may end up selling faster once it's renovated. And it will be a win-win, because in today's market, very few people want to go and they're not buying the fixer-uppers. Why we got so many contracts getting canceled. People want turnkey when they're paying, almost $1,000. So this would be the Zoom Casa option. Granted, we made a lot of assumptions there. And I could go over here and I could say, oh, if the renovations only cost us 25 grand. And I can go back to the assumptions. You see, he would now get more. I just don't know what those numbers are. So a lot of this is a guess. But what you need to do when you go out there to your appointment, it's your job to do that discovery and figure out where they sit inside of this spectrum, what makes the most sense, and then come back and happy to sit down and work through the exact deal with you. Say, here's option A, here's option B. Maybe they haven't moved yet because they can't qualify for another loan with this house payment, and they're kind of saddled right now. Like, I don't know the story. I just know it's been listed twice, taken off the market twice. Seller's probably a bit frustrated and in their mind really believe the house is worth 900, and that's why they haven't sold it. So you're going to get them the sales price they want. It's just a different way of getting there. So I did a ton of talking there, Mark, and I'm sure your ears are probably hurt. What kind of questions do you have? What could I do a better job answering?
Okay, so I just want to know, so when I go over to his home, I should just be going there just to get information and let him know that I'm not trying to list his home right now. I'm just trying to see if it'll work. Let me get the
100%.
information, and once I take the information, I'm gonna take it back, work with the numbers, talk to you guys, and then I'm gonna come to you with a better solution than me just trying to operate on, just a lot of what ifs. How did that sound to you?
100%. And this is where separating yourself. 9 out of 10 agents are going to show up. They're going to show up with their tried and true 15, listing BS that, right? Like, we all know that my 15-point sales strategy to sell your home in 14 days, right? It's all just smoke and mirrors. So they've already seen through that. So you're the one person that's going to be different. Hey, I have no idea if I can sell your house, even if I could help you. Would it be a crazy idea just to have a quick conversation, see if this might be something? I've got a bunch of options different than what most of the world's coming at you with. Would it be a crazy idea for us to spend 5-10 minutes on the phone? I just wanted to ask you some questions. No,
Okay.
that wouldn't be a crazy idea. That's right. You're just asking a little bit different, and then go through and find out, are they past due on their mortgage? What's their scenario? And then take that and say, hey, I've got a great understanding here of you. Still don't know if I can help you. Let me do a little bit of digging. I'm going to come back with 2 or 3 different options for you of ways that you can do this. Everything from a traditional sale all the way through, who knows what. But let me get back with you. Is it good to talk tomorrow at 10 a.m.? Yeah, and if you've built enough rapport, you can pitch that as a phone call. Is it good to talk at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning? Yeah, that works. Now, is it better? Would you prefer to discuss this in person, or do you want to do it on the phone, messenger pigeon? How works best? And then
Okay.
you walk them down that. If you've built enough rapport, there's probably a good chance. You said you like to get belly to belly with people. So if you do that first step right, there's probably a decent chance that you can actually get in front of them for the next step.
Okay.
So yeah, you're just doing a discovery call. Oh, and hopefully you walk out of there with some kind of, you know, magic bullets. What if he told you, yeah, we're past due on our mortgage, or I've been, making double payments. You can see nobody's really living there. I mean, there's a TV like set up on a folding table. I don't know how bad the pain is of just making that payment month in, month out, and getting nothing in return. So that would be how I would leverage it.
Okay. So what I want to know on the phone call tomorrow, should I even bring up Zoom Casa or just say, hey, I'm just trying to get information and then let me see if I can help you. And then once I get to the home, that's when I bring up Zoom Casa, see if this will work for you. And I'm not trying to list it right now. I just want to see if it works. So I'm just trying to look at the place, get a better look at the neighborhood, come back and then see if it's something that will work for you. Sounds fair?
That that sounds fair, 100%. And I personally, and granted, right, I'm here representing Zoom Casa. I wouldn't mention a product. I would mention you're there to solve a problem. So you're talking about solutions, not the name of the solution. You're
Mm-hmm.
just talking about the solution. Now, like if somebody's starving, I don't come to them with the carbohydrate count. I'm coming to you with, your macros are it's 30 grams of protein. This, no, they like, I want food. So if they're hungry, I would just talk to them about solutions, and you're marked with a lot of solutions and you don't know if any of them work yet. You need to do a little bit of digging. You'd be doing a disservice without them. If I was a doctor and I didn't check your temperature, right, they'd get me for malpractice. If I'm here to list your house, talk to you about it, and I don't ask all the questions, then I can't really tell you, diagnose what the best solution is.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, I would for sure set this up as a 2 call type thing. Call one, gather some basic information, don't oversell them, don't let them smell the commission breath, and then come back in with a couple of real actual solutions for him and let him do an A/B. Yeah, A sounds better, B sounds better. And I see
Okay.
you there, Alberto, with your hand up, so I will definitely get to you. So is that helpful, Mark? Do you have like anything else as we're here?
I think that's it for now. I think the best approach tomorrow on the call is just basically say, just let them know like, hey, I have different solutions or so, and just try to set the appointment. Go there and just get as much information from him as possible. Talk to him on a human level, and then come back with the information. But let him know straight out, I'm not coming to list the home. I just want to just get information so I can best serve you better. Maybe I could list it, maybe not. But right now, it's just a discovery call to see if I'm even the person for you.
Yeah, you don't want to be this guy,
Hmm.
right? Like just everything in your power is, and salespeople do it all the time. You can actually hear it. If you start thinking about sales calls, you will see when somebody goes from fight or flight, who is this? Why are you calling? And you see when the switch flips to where they think they have this guy on the phone and they're just trying to get him off. And I'm all set. I'm good. No thanks. Just looking. Don't want to do anything right now. Got to talk to my wife. 1,000 things. Because I know for a fact that client, if you said, I have a buyer right now with 900 grand that wants to buy your house cash, they would want to talk to you. So they just don't want you coming to the house yet because they don't know what you can offer. But they would sell
Right.
that house to the right person with the right thing, saying the right thing. They're just hearing this guy. We got to have not hear that guy.
Mm.
Awesome.
Okay.
Well,
Sounds good.
I'd love to know as soon as you get kind of all those details, we'll put it together and we'll look at all of the options that we have. all
Hmm.
the options that exist in the world, because Zoom Casa may or may not be the right fit for you. Maybe there's a better option. So we'll
Yeah.
figure out what's the best thing for you to take back to that client for you to get the listing.
And I
And
know he
hopefully
want
it
to
is us.
renovate because that's one of the things that he mentioned on the call, before they hung up. And he's like, oh, but, let him know that, I would like to get some work done on it. So that kind of like put the light bulb in my head, like, oh, right up the alley, right up the Zoom Casa alley, right here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then really I would start asking, so based on the work you want to get done, what kind of value do you think it would add? How long have you been thinking about doing this? Why didn't you do it yourself? I didn't do it myself. I don't have the money. All right. So like get them down that path, gather a bunch of info, and then bring it back tomorrow. We'll walk through the deal after you have the phone call and we'll figure out exactly where you and them need to be. Sound fair?
Sounds good. Sounds fair.
Awesome. So I've got Alberto. You said you had your hand up. It's back down now, but what can we do for you here on this fine Thursday?
Yeah, yeah, how you doing, John?
Hey, I'm doing good.
Um, Amazing. No, I was thinking that on the Zoom Casa calculator would be great to have also the mortgage payment, because if you save, like in this scenario, and they pay, I don't know, 2,500 a month, they will save that on the 2 3 month or whatever the months the property will be sell, because their loan is going to be paid off, plus they save on those mortgage payments. I use a calculator that I that's that's a pain for any seller that wants to sell. They don't Most of the time they don't want to keep paying the mortgage.
100%. I think that there's a lot of right of bullet points, pain points, different reasons when you like what motivates somebody to move to the next house. Some people, if you're Kim Kardashian and you want a new house, you just go out and buy it cash. And the fact that you have two or three doesn't really matter to you because you're worth $1 billion and paying, 40 grand a month for a house it doesn't impact you. It doesn't matter. But for the rest of us that aren't Kim Kardashian or whoever you want to be, your celebrity of choice, it does matter. And making multiple payments across multiple houses matter. And a lot of people today are also stuck in this gridlock where they have a house, they know they want to move, but they don't want to go and buy a new one because what if they can't sell theirs? Or they have to sell theirs to buy the new one. So, and if you've ever sat through one of our 101 presentations, we often talk about being problem solvers. If you're not a real estate, you don't do real estate, you do problem solving. I don't do real estate or mortgages, I do problem solving. People come to me with problems and we have to diagnose what their problem is and then come up with the best solution to fix that problem.
Yeah, totally
And
agree.
yeah, and the more solutions you have, probably the better off you are able to take care of your clients and win and earn more listings because you're just better than the next person. So I think
Now,
it's a great point that you bring up.
a quick question. What if with the Zoom Casa, if the property doesn't need any any repair? So
Okay.
the property is in very, very good condition, and it didn't sell because, let's say, they out of perspective with the market. Maybe they want 50,000 more of what the market is, or 100,000. I've seen $100,000 more. So how it is the same calculation with Zoom Casa without the expense of repairs?
So yes, but let me ask you a couple of questions. So we can't fix the market's going to be whatever the market's going to be for a house. So right, it's like just because you use this doesn't make it sell for more than it's worth. So that's
Yes, of
always
course.
just something to think about. Now, if you have somebody that's, let's say, in what area, where are you at in the country?
I'm in Miami, but yeah, for example, somebody, like any home seller, they did some paint here and some cute things on the kitchen, but the property and the market is 700,000, but they want $800,000, and that's why it didn't sell.
Okay.
It is not. It is not 750. It's not seven. It's 700 right now, or maybe 680. So because if the market is 700, typically in the market you sell it for 96 to 97% of what the market is. So, but the property doesn't need anything.
Yeah.
So how is ZoomCasa is a good solution also for this type of.
It maybe will be my answer. So if they have the luxury, so again, we have to go, the home not selling may or may not even be a problem for them. So, right. So if you're trying to solve the problem, if their problem is they want to sell it for $900,000 and they have the next 5 years to wait, the problem is more of just a timing problem of how long they have to wait to get the 900 grand that they want. So
Right.
in that
Sometimes
case,
it's happening.
it wouldn't make any sense to use our product because we're going to charge them a fee to do it. They're only going to make to net less back. So the
Right.
problem that person has, and I know people that are like that, they've owned a house for 3 years and it's been sitting vacant and they just in their mind, they want to get 1.5 million for it. And they just let it sit there. Like every month you're paying like carrying costs and all that. I want to sell it for 1 point. I'm like, okay, do whatever you want. I can't tell them what to do or not to do.
Yeah.
So you have to figure out their problem. But now let's say this scenario, they wanted 900 grand because they wanted to, they owe, 850 and they wanted 900 grand because that's what they need to get out of the property and not have to write a big fat check at closing. So like that's a different problem that requires maybe a different set of like that requires something different. Maybe the only way for them to do it, and in your case it's fully renovated, maybe the only way for them to do that it doesn't even exist today because there's builders right down the street that are putting up a brand new house at 825 and they're trying to like it won't happen. So you have to just
Yeah.
diagnose what the problem is. Or maybe they have to sell that house to move to the next one. They just didn't get any offers and they don't want to move. So there would be a different problem. So I think you have to determine what the problem is you're trying to solve and then see if you can do it. But we do. So as far as the Zoom Casa product, 35-40% of the transactions we do, there's no renovations or very little. It's just somebody that wants to move really fast. They've already moved. They have a house that's been trailing. They can't get it sold. They're sick of making double payments. So there's a variety of reasons there. Sometimes it works. It depends on what the problem is that you're trying to solve.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. For me, it is this like you said, it's every problem has a toolkit, and sometimes you cannot solve it, and that's okay. I do subject to, I do list options, I do a lot of things as a creative investor. So I just get into this from Casa, and I think it is another tool for the belt.
And you said you mentioned that you do a lot of subject to?
Yeah.
And what's the reasoning that you're doing those?
Well, people that have bought it in 2022 or 2023, they don't have much equity. So subject to it, it is perfect. So you give them whatever little equity they have. But also that's not perfect because if the property doesn't cash flow, there's no solution for that.
So you're having them list the property. They're going out and trying to buy a new property subject to them selling their own.
Yeah, well, they go rent or they go into another city. What is happening a lot in Florida is the insurance and the taxes has skyrocketed in many areas. So people who bought in 2023 are paying, to give an example, 2,400, and in the same community they're renting for 1,700. So it's happening whatever happened in 2008, that people believe that they're paying more for what is worth in the market.
Got it. Yeah, I know you guys have some problems, some unique problems there in Florida. So many people rushed in. I'm a little bit bullish just personally on just imagine what happens in your great state if they do away with property taxes. Everybody's houses just became so much cheaper. You're going to get, like, in my opinion, it and $5 will get you a cup of coffee. But I think that if property taxes go away, you'll see this really quick bump in property values. That I think, like, owning a house right now in Florida, I'd be pretty bullish and really hoping that happens if I did own one there, because payments will get back up to that point, but you will see everybody realize a bunch of equity, especially as so many people are upside down.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
but that solution of no property taxes is not that straightforward. There are like 8 proposals on that. What I know about the governor, it is if you have your house paid off, then you don't pay property taxes. So I don't know. I have my thesis about that, because if there's no taxes on property taxes, then who's gonna pay those portions of the taxes? Somebody will.
oh no, the taxes aren't going away. It's
Yeah.
just, where do you shift the money?
Yeah,
Does it sit
I have. Yeah, I have sent from my part a lot of proposals to the governor, because the problem it is not the taxes, it is how the assessment of the property are done yearly. So that's the problem that I'm paying. I start paying $2,000 in taxes, and then next year it's 25, and then it's 3,000, and it is exponential, your taxes, and that's what it is not fair. That is because because the market is in a shift, and then now your property value is $1 million, but you bought it for your house is $500,000. So
Yeah.
why I'm paying taxes for $1 million house if I pay 500,000?
Yeah, no, taxes are not fun across the board. So yeah, I think that there's a lot of different ways that can be solved. I see that you have a state with a lot of people that are maybe slightly upside down that bought in the last few years. And I see that as a potential way to right size that, short of just kind of waiting it out. Because I do believe, right, like, property values, you still have good weather there. There's a lot of things going for Florida. People want to be there, not going backwards. So it's not one of the states that are losing people. And you will see
Right.
those values go back. It's just, how do you get there quicker? So one thing I would just tell you, lots of different options, figure out what solution they're trying to do. And then there's probably a good chance that we've got one. One other thing I'm going to share here as well, because you brought it up that you have people moving because they can rent for cheaper. You do run into some scenarios. If you go here inside of the community, there's a thing called our classroom. There is a backup plus. We have a program called Backup Offer Plus, where we will come in. If you have a buyer, let's say somebody that needs to sell their house and they can't move to the next property because they can't qualify to carry multiple mortgage payments. It's not everybody, but there are people that have, 5-10%, they've got some money for a down payment. You see this a lot in people that are downsizing, or maybe people relocating to Florida. They got to sell their house in Ohio first so they qualify. This program here, we come in and provide them with a guaranteed backup offer against their current primary residence, which would be their departing residence. And that way, with no contingency. So we set it up, right? We're going to come in, buy it for 90 cents an hour, right? We're going to lay out what our buy plan looks like. We give them 6 months to get it sold. And there are other people that offer something similar that charge, minimum of $5,000 to, $20,000 for this program. We're doing it right now for $1,000. So it's a one-time fee for $1,000. They become non-contingent now on Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. They can go get a loan at Rocket Mortgage, wherever they would want. And they don't have to hit them with both of those payments. And that potentially does free up some people. We move from Miami to Jacksonville, where it's more affordable, or, wherever, that are stuck right now in their one house that they can't move. Granted, they have to have some equity, and it actually needs to be a house that they can sell, but that's something also. It's inside of there. We walk through how it works and where you might be able to use it. But that's been a program that's getting a lot of traction, especially on the lender side. This loan officers run into people that are like, hey, you got to sell your house first. They're like, I've made 18 offers, contingent on selling my house. Nobody will accept my offer. So again, we're just here to provide solutions. You bring us your problems, we give you some kind of solution.
Yeah. And I saw you guys have I saw your program of easy flipping is kind of the same. Yeah.
So Easy Flip, another program. That's just where we're partnering. Instead of us coming in and buying it solely, you've got an investor that's looking at buying a house that they're getting it's got some equity in it. And instead of it just being us that's the one investing in the property, they're also investing as little as 10%. We then come in, we actually buy the house, we take title, we do those things. When collectively we get it all rehabbed, when it sells, they get their money back, and there is hopefully they get their full down payment back and some, because it was a good pick and we renovated the right house and we did it the right way. We've underwritten tons of those. It's what our bread and butter is. But there is also an easy flip calculator right there inside of the school. I just keep going back here. I should just leave the share up, but right here, there is an easy flip calculator. Again, got a scenario, you think it might make sense, hit up the calculator, book a call to talk to one of us. Like just today, actually made a new submission form. That's a little less elaborate, where you can just put in some basic information, who you are, borrower name. None of these fields are actually required, but you submit this, it comes to myself, a couple of people that work inside of this community particularly, and we will get back to you directly on walking through your scenario, giving you a little bit more of a white glove experience. So that's inside of the community as well. All those things are there.
Yeah. What about if, John, if I bring you a good deal as an investor for a flip, but I don't want to be part of the flipping side. Is that possible?
So, well, if we're doing the flip, right, so there's a couple of ways that this can be done. Way one, if we're just helping the seller flip their house and you just want to be the real estate agent on it, because then the seller would be kind of the one, they'd be flipping their own house using our program. So that's option number one. Option number two would be if you've got an investor, maybe that doesn't have 25%, doesn't have 30%, whatever, they don't have the money set aside to do the renovations. They're just, some dude that just wants to get in there and do it, but they're not like your seasoned savvy investor. They could use a coach, somebody along the way. That's where Easy Flip comes in. So we're going to partner with them. We're going to take 10%, significantly less on the down payment. And we're then writing the checks, doing the renovations, doing those kind of things. And they get to share in the upside, as well as learn how the process goes. They get to walk right through and get to see it beginning to end. That would be option number two. And option number three would be, you can just take this house and we can come in and just make straight up cash offers. We'll buy it and flip it. Just it's going to be the least attractive for the seller. If we're just coming in, buying it as an investor, the same way you probably know people in around Miami that buy houses for 75 cents on the dollar that they're going to go in and flip. There's an equation that investors use on the back end. But so all three of those options are viable, and we'll do them all. There's just probably one that's the best for the seller. And either way, you're going to get your commission kind of regardless of how that works.
Okay.
So hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah. 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 On the flip side, maybe you bring the flipper that you offer the money, and so they have to bring only 10% instead of 25%. So
Yeah, so we have inside of our Easy Flip program,
plus the carry.
it starts with as little as 10%. So it's 10% of the purchase price and whatever we need. So kind of purchase and rental budget. But they then, right, they're paying us a program fee, but they're sharing in all the upside. We're just collecting a fee. We're not splitting it. It's not shared equity. We're going to get our fee and they're going to get the rest. And the hardest part in these is finding a good property. So it's hard to find the property that you can go out and buy at a point, do the flip and make money on it. And that's where you and your investor partner come in. We're not scavenging properties, up and down Michigan Avenue there in Miami. Is that Michigan Avenue that runs right through there?
I'm sorry.
Point Avenue. I'm thinking of a song by Vanilla Ice. It says like A1A, Detroit Avenue. Do you know the song?
No.
Well, you should. It's Vanilla Ice. He was really popular, like around 1991. And I have no idea how old you are or anything, right? But I just dated myself with Vanilla Ice reference.
I sure if I listen to it, I might by name, I don't know.
That guy right there, Vanilla Ice. Oh,
Oh yeah, I know Vanilla. Yeah.
well, I know.
I don't know I don't know the
I wouldn't even.
song.
The producer is telling me it's A1A Beachfront Avenue. So it's not Detroit Avenue, Michigan Avenue. It's not nothing. It's beach. So I don't even know the words. So I just dated myself. Not only am I old, I'm not even hip. Well, what else can I do? Anybody else got any quick questions here? We're heading into the 1 hour mark. Anything else we can help you with?
Yeah, I have another question. I never knew about the easy flip. Where in the school community we find, is it in the school community? I don't remember seeing that in the school community.
Yeah, so we keep it hidden. We only like to give it to our best clients. I'm actually sarcastic. So a couple of things. Right here, there's an easy flip calculator. So right inside of this, right there, it's an easy flip calculator. Also, we have inside of the classroom, there is an easy flip reveal. This is a webinar we did. We've got one main account executive over here that does this program. This is a webinar that we did with him where we walk all the way through the program. So it's inside of the community. You could watch the entire webinar. We talk about what makes sense, who's it's a good fit for, but it's just another one of our programs that's out there. Works great for investors. I think it's really cool. It probably has a tremendous amount of legs. And what I like to do, or the way that I like to think about our product is this. A lot of people, real estate agents, target, first-time home buyers, or they're targeting different demographics of people. What I like to do is target demographics of homes. So find a house, right? You're just driving around, you see a house that's a little bit older in an older neighborhood, maybe that you believe could use some work. And then from there, you've got an elderly couple that might need to downsize. You've got a potential home for a first-time home buyer. So you're finding the house and then helping them find the correct solution for the house versus trying to find, instead of going after the person, find the correct house. And if you do have one of these houses that needs some work and you're talking to people and you go out on a listing appointment and your options are, I've got this ZoomCasa option. I've got a pool of a couple of different investors that might want to buy it. And you can take them different solutions to their house that needs work. At the end of the day, though, the house will always need work. So more or less you can solve the problem there. So that's where I think a really good use case is, but it's right there inside of the classroom. And down here, easy flip revealed, there's a whole webinar, or you can come right over here. Heck, you want to walk through one, you can go right to the chat, message me, we can look at it. You can come over here and you could even submit the property, put in the information, talk about your notes, what you want to do, and we can jump on a call and look at your individual property. Does that sound
Okay,
fair?
sounds good. I'm gonna get and look at it, and then I'll have some questions. Because actually, the reason why I became an agent is because I wanted to get into real estate investments, and I thought that being an agent would be a better way. But once I got in, I found out that the agent and the investor is almost like two different worlds. Some brokers don't even know what wholesaling are.
Yeah, I think that anytime you're in an industry where there's an opportunity for large commissions and a low barrier to entry, you're going to get a lot of agents that just don't really understand like kind of all the moving parts. Right. So like if you can be one of the ones that do, and you show up with more solutions, people will take you seriously. And you become the guy that does a lot more listings than the next person.
Definitely.
So, well, hey, this has been, anybody else have anything? I've got about 2 more minutes if somebody does. Otherwise, I got to go pick up a kid from basketball practice. But anything else that I can help you with?
No, I'll reach out to you tomorrow because actually I have two appointment calls. The one that I just talked about, and another one that I don't know if it's a commercial or it's residential. The TMK says residential, but the owner said it had 6 units. So the 6 units will bid in the commercial realm. So I'm gonna try to do the same thing, go and actually see the property myself. And then if it's 4 units, then that might be a good Zoom Casa fit.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a lot of lending options. I don't lend in Hawaii, but there are a lot of options, in the up to 10 units, there's different options. We primarily are in the 1 to 4, but again, find the details. I wouldn't say that, anything's off the table, but get the details, understand the story, understand the problems, where they're at today, where they're trying to go. And then from there, you figure out what mechanism to get there. And then also just one last thing I would add for you, Mark, do jump in here. Like some of these things, like conversation starters for listing agents, some of these things I wrote them, so I'm probably a little bit biased, but I think they're pretty good. And if you've got 4 that you really like, maybe there can be 5 and 6. And you pick up little things, and we all learn more through osmosis. And most of your time spent in the office, upstairs of your house alone, you're not hearing other people selling. You could get stuff out of it. And then the last favor I just have of anyone on here, if you know anyone else that could use or benefit from any of the stuff we're doing, we'd love for you just to refer them over into our school community. Let them get in there, let them sniff around themselves, poke around. Maybe it's something that triggers a conversation or something in their head. And don't do it in your own marketplace. You don't want them to like be out there trying to get your business. But yeah, we love referrals. We love people coming into our group. Awesome. Well, I thank you all for attending, and any questions, concerns, you can get me right through school. Anything that you need, reach out. We'd love to try and help.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. You guys have a great day.